Okay. All right, let's go. Let's dig in, you guys. Hopefully you came with like one question and that I can help you move through to take your business to the next level. You know, something that I was always taught very early on, that if you ever get a chance to sit in front of in a small group with someone that has some success, that you always come with a question and you always come with already a mental decision to put whatever they tell you into practice, because it does no good to go listen to something and then not change anything. You know what I mean? Like, I know a lot of people will go to Danny and it's never a waste of money unless you don't do anything with it. Do you know what I mean? Or Summit is only a waste of money if you don't do anything with it. But something that Jenna was saying was she feels like she starts to lose her mojo, so to speak, when she gets away from the webinars, when she gets away from being connected. And let me tell you why. That is actually, it's very, very true. And it's not something that just like Jenna doesn't have the emotional strength or a big enough why or enough determination or enough perseverance. It's nothing, which is probably something Jenna's that crap that we always feed ourselves. It's always our fault, but it really actually comes to our human, like we are wired to want to connect. It is part of how we recharge. It is in our makeup. Okay. And so that's why Facebook is going so much to live videos and that's why like just text in and of itself on Facebook will rank really low in affinity. Like it won't do hardly anything for you. And soon, like Shalene said, by 2019, Facebook it'll be is Facebook Live. And it's because we are, I don't know how I feel about that, because I want to stare at my phone all day listening to whatever. I want to live my life. Not that I don't like what people have to say, but that's something that you have to be aware of. Like we are in this business in life, whether it's a business of a stay-at-home mom, which that is a business, or you're in the business of a beach body, or you're in a business at your work, which that is, if you will succeed at work as soon as you take that mission, that job as serious as if you started the business. I don't care where you're at. If you're a veterinarian assistant and it's the vet that started the business, as soon as you take on the heart of the veterinarian that opened it and put the $500,000 in, and if you pretend that you're the one writing the $100,000 a month that have to go towards, overhead and all that kind of stuff. When you start to realize that and take it as serious as that person does, then you start to succeed, even as as someone that you actually work for someone. You know what I mean? Not an entrepreneur. What does Danny call that, Mary? Why am I losing the word for that?
Employeepreneur?
A what?
Employeepreneur.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's good. See, when you think of it that way, she's the one that taught me that. When you think of it that way, it changes everything. So where was I going with that? Oh, I know. Everything we do revolves around people, right? And how people, and if you understand how we are wired, right? You start to realize how you should run a business, because it's no different than really how you should run your home. I had this sweet friend of mine asked one time on Facebook, do you think a business and a family should be run the same? That depends. Depends how you run your business. You know what I mean? Like, depends how you run your business, I told him. I think that you should run a business the way you run your family, and that depends how you run your family. Do you know what I mean? If you lead with the hammer, no, don't run any business or any family that way. But if that's what you're used to running your family with a hammer, don't run your business. You're going to run that sucker right into the ground. It'll get stagnant. It won't go anywhere. People will feel frustrated and defeated. You cannot lead like that. Okay, but that's what we see most of the time in life. How many of you guys were raised by someone that was more of the lead with the hammer type, or lead with the carrot? Get good grades and you get to do this. Get good grades and I don't know what, I was never paid a dime. If you get, for every A you get $10. That's called leading with the carrot, right? Once the carrot is removed, does the person still get A's or try their hardest? Generally not. It's kind of like when there's for Summit, like if you hit so many months in a row for Success Club 5, for those months, you stay super focused because there's nothing you want more than to be at that party that is special and Shalene's going to be at and some, and you make it, that carrot removed, most people stop hitting Success Club, right? The same with like the hammer, like when you're fearful, a lot of times it can move you into action, but as soon as that hammer is removed, you stop doing what you're supposed to be doing. So there's a great book called Lead for God's Sake, where you're supposed to lead with your heart, right? And that's what and the reason being, and if you haven't read that book, it's really, really good. Even if you're, unsure about the faith side of things, it really does have a great message. But when you lead with your heart, people connect with your heart, and that's what creates lifers. And so how many of you guys listened to Chalene Johnson's National Wake Up Call, like 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago? One of the best tips I could give you guys is to make those a habit every week. Every single week, the National Wake Up Call. I built my business on the National Wake Up Call. I didn't have an upline. That was sewing into me. I didn't have, I actually wasn't allowed in upline groups with anybody, and I didn't have any webinars like this to go to at all where you could ask questions. They would do like a talk show where they talked at you, and that was it. And so the National Wake Up Call was where I built my business, and it's still, if not more valuable than where when I started 7 years ago. It was funny. I'm in this training and running a training with some other 15 stars like Lindsay Matway, Jessica, I always say her last name wrong, Piola or Pio, I don't know how to say it. And like Christy Kronsner, I think you say it. I only know people by their little, like, you know what I mean? And I recognize them, but the names always, I don't know. But listening to them, it was funny because you could tell, like Christy especially, we started building the business at the same time about 6 years ago. We were both listening to the same Janelle Summers National Wake Up Call that completely changed our business. The same call. And I was like, she was saying things that I've been teaching for 6 months. She was teaching in this group, and she said exactly what I said. Janelle Summers told me to do this 6 years ago on a National Wake Up Call. So I took that nugget, put it into action immediately. And that nugget was asking people, have you ever considered? Like a simple, have you ever considered, right? Like, and so I'm not going to go into that right now, but my point in that is if you are skipping the National Wake Up Call, you have to ask yourself, are you all in? You really do. Okay. And you have to understand that all in it happens between the ears. All in is not all day. Do not misunderstand that. I actually have to mentor coaches to stop being available 24/7. It's actually not good business to be available 24/7. I mean, think about it. If you walked up to Nordstrom's and it said 9:08 and they shut the things, do they give a phone number on the side that says, hey, when the store is closed, go ahead and text the general manager and we'll go ahead and open up so you can get the bikini you are wanting for your Punta Cana trip, just in case it's closed, but not really closed. No, but Nordstrom's is like one of the most amazing places to shop. The customer service, the way they carry themselves, the presentation of everything, the way they try to tie into what you're actually shopping for. If any of you guys ever shop there, it's very different than Walmart. Very, like, they don't huff and puff to open the dressing room. And if you ever gone to Walmart and you can't find anybody, and when you do, they really don't want to help you at all. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, they just rather you kind of try it on in the middle of the aisle. And sometimes I'm like, screw it, fine, you don't want to open up? I will try it on in the middle of the aisle. Let's do this. Right? At Nordstrom's, they're tracking you down. Do you want me to start a fitting room for you? What is this for? Maybe I can help you find some shoes for it. Do you have jewelry for it? Oh my gosh, this will pop from stage. These shoes might be a little high for stage. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're trying to get into it with you, but they still aren't available 24/7. You know what I mean? And so you have to think of it that way. All in does not mean all day. All in is a mindset, a mentality. It's a consistency. I mean, how many of you would stop going to, what's your favorite store? Like, do I got a lot of Target fans in here? Anybody frequent Target? Every time I walk in Target, I stopped going to Target because I swear they pump something into that place that no matter, I could go for paper towels and I walk out with $100 worth of stuff. Like, I'm like, what in the world? You know what I mean? Like, so I have to avoid it, but take Target, for instance. What if all of a sudden they're like, we sell a lot online. Let's not open today. And then you show up and the guy's going in like, well, we decided to open today at noon. Oh, we're not opening until Saturday. It's just like an better day for us. How fast do you think people would stop going to Target? It is like you have to all in is that same type of mindset. Like Target has a brand. You are your brand. And Chalene Johnson talked about that on the National Wake Up Call, that is how you build trust, right? And so Christy was talking yesterday in this training group I'm in. She was like talking to one of her coaches that was like, I've been really consistent this month. No one is saying, yes, I can't get anybody. And Christy was like, and where were you at last month? And she was like, but I'm here this month. Doesn't matter. We're not robots. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't just flip like that. Do you know what I mean? Like people really are checking whether like they're really like humans work this way, and it all starts in that limbic part of the brain. I'm going to bore you guys for a second. You guys have heard me talk on it. I'm not going to shut up about it. I'm going to keep talking about it because as soon as you understand how the limbic part of the brain works, how humans work, you actually might be able to connect better with your spouse, you know what I mean, or your kids. So I'm not going to let this limbic part of the brain rest, okay? This limbic part of the brain makes decisions, okay? So every decision that you make comes from that part of the brain. It is also, it is not the part of the brain that houses facts and logic. Go figure. You know what I mean? So you can stop telling everybody that Shakeology has 70 superfoods and that they're from all over this country and they handpick them. And Darren O'Lean actually went there himself to test the soil to make sure, even though it's not technically certified organic, because if it was, it would be like $350 because of the price of that. But he's gone there and tested everyone himself. And I know Ironman athletes that actually drink Shakeology as their recovery. Like you can stop facting people to death, okay? I was actually telling someone, like mentoring someone the other day, a different product line, and I was saying how people have y'all seen those Norwex cloths? Anybody heard of those? I still haven't bought one. You want to know why? Anybody that ever tries to share it with me facts me to death. I don't care about the facts. I do not care how many times it has been tested. I do not care how much bacteria is on my countertop. I do not. Now, once you tell me what that bacteria is causing, that maybe I have a headache today because of it or something like that, now you're tapping into the limbic part of the brain. My feelings and my emotions are housed in the same part of the brain that makes decisions. So think about this. If humans, okay, we're all dealing with humans. Our kids are humans. Our husband or spouse is human. Are the people we want to help is human. The people on your list that you should be adding to every single day that should have well over 200, 300, 400 people on it by now. Every single person on that list is a human and not a robot. Every single one of those humans have scars, open wounds, fears, ways they've been hurt in the past, walls that they built up around their heart to protect themselves. Every single one of them, including yourself. They're humans, okay? And so if they're going to make a decision, okay, so listen to the different decisions we're trying to get, like, okay, the foundation of what we do, all of us believe that if people make the decision to join us, their life will be forever changed. We believe that, but they do not yet. They do not believe that yet. And what Carl was talking about on there is that they went, when they used it, what Carl and them know how to do is run infomercials. Like direct sales is like their like cup of tea. They can do that and do that well. But the way humans think and the connection and all that stuff had started to change about 10 years ago, and they noticed it and they said, how do we make sure that this product that we believe is life-changing continues to get into the hands of people that need it? And they decided that it's through stories. Actually, stories are more compelling, right? Maybe Carl listened to the same TED Talk that I listened to that talked about the limbic part of the brain. I don't know. But what I do know is he made the right decision by, instead of going into Target or Walmart or something like that, he went into Team Beachbody, like a relationship marketing style business because of the limbic part of the brain. Okay, so what you have to understand though is if he learned, like was it Shalene or Carl that said this, but that if Carl decided to go away, like this incredibly smart guy, a guy that has a lot of money on the line by taking a chance on us, all right, a lot of overhead, like the stress on that man, I do not want it. I'd rather have my $15 a month fee. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't want his overhead. I want my overhead of $15. Because can we really call our Shakeology overhead, since it actually, I mean, we can write it off, and some people would start to debate that with me, but it is required for our compensation plan, so it is a write-off. Anyway, so, well, don't take my word for that. I don't want anybody to twist the words on that. My accountant, who deals with relationship marketing, some of the most high profile people in direct marketing, that's my accountant. And so he's had to navigate this and we have been writing it off for 7 years. Anyway, over to what I was talking about before. Where was I going with that? So I just got off on a tangent. I'm going to try to bring it around. We were talking about, if he said that infomercials aren't working anymore, that he knows that 10 years ago, right? Why would we allow our Facebook page to look like an infomercial? You know what I mean? Like that, like, right? That should like look at some of the other direct marketing business or relationship marketing businesses out there. How many of you scroll past when it's a stock photo of face stuff or lip gloss or whatever that, you know what I mean? Which is great for them. I'm not passionate about it. I can't get behind it. Doesn't matter. But you know, like it doesn't, like I could, unless I am drawn into the feeling and emotion of it, will I make a decision to stop and read? You guys see, like even when people are deciding whether to read what you wrote, they tap into that limbic part of the brain where you have to connect with them, their feelings and emotions. Okay, so what other decisions are people making? Whether to join you, okay, once they join your team, they're deciding, is a power hour even worth them rearranging their schedule, maybe getting up 45, to 60 minutes earlier, or skipping, like what I skipped when I started was Grey's Anatomy and The Bachelor. I didn't watch that anymore. Grey's Anatomy, The Bachelor, and America, not The Voice, what's the other one? American Idol. I like all of those went out the door, right? Because that was a decision of mine, even under the most high stress time in my life, as a mom of 3 very young kids by myself in a town where I didn't know anybody, where everything sat on my shoulders, where I was dog tired. I decided to focus on this business because of what I believe. That was a decision. So we're all trying to tap into that piece of people's brains for their good. Does that make sense? So we're not trying to like manipulate, like this has to come from right here. Remember, not the carrot, not the hammer, but it has to come from right here. The only way to make it come from right here is through your story. Your story, not my story, right? Not trying to be Summer. You know what I mean? Like you guys don't have to go out and buy like every color headband. You know what I mean? I remember when I was watching Sandy. Do you guys know who Sandy Krakowski is? She's like a social media person. She had that pink hair. You know what I mean? I remember how she was saying like it was kind of part of her brand. And I was like, well, I don't really think I should dye my bangs, but I guess that would get some attention. You know, I studied her 7 years ago. You know what I mean? But, once you start learning about your brand, you're like, no, Summer be Summer. Like, Kara, you have half your head shaved, don't you? See? That's part of her brand. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to tell you that. And you guys, if all of a sudden you guys saw me shave the side of my head, you might be like, I don't know if you can pull that off, Summer. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if you have that spunky, edgy personality like Kara does. And it would totally come across fake. And no one would connect with me. No one would connect with me, right? And so I want you guys to think about that. That's why this business to me is so exciting, because you have been yourself for how many years? I've been myself for almost 36 years. I'm pretty darn good at it because I was born this way. Do you know what I mean? You just have to be you. You have to be willing to be vulnerable, to share your scars, to share what you're going through, to be vulnerable. And that is what's going to connect with people. And that's what Shalene was talking about. Okay? People connect with that, not an infomercial. Okay? You have to tell stories. And so she was telling you what you should do and what you should not do. Okay? You're not supposed to be, sharing how much it costs. Like, you guys will see, and I don't know if anybody on here, like, you don't have to duck your head if you've done it. I've done a lot of things on social media that I was like, that what, you know what I mean? Like, I did it, and then I heard someone on national radio call say, don't do that. And I was like, crap, I just did that yesterday. Do you know what I mean? And then you just adjust. So please, we are all going to fall. You know what I mean? The only thing that would irritate me right now is if you're not posting on social media. Like, if you're not even willing to take action in it and fall and tweak and fix and make errors and mistakes. And that would be like, wow, like, I can't teach someone that's not taking action. I can't, right? I'd rather you be making mistakes than not doing anything, because I can't teach not doing anything. That's something we have a conversation with Griffin all the time, and Riley. So, when you'll see on Facebook these pictures of like just under $5 a day, like when anybody puts money on a flyer, do any of you guys really, really stop and take action in that? I don't. That's like, no one's on social media to be sold, but social media is the glue. Write that down, you guys. Social media is the glue that holds this whole thing together. Like, yes, you have to do personal development. I don't believe you can succeed without it. Trust me on that, because if without personal development consistently over 7 years period, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I wouldn't be able to emotionally handle. Now, listen, some of you guys will understand this and some of you won't, but hopefully you can apply this to some of yours. If I hadn't done personal development, I would not be able to handle losing $53,000 in a bonus over 2 coaches. Yeah, Kara's like, that's how much I missed a week ago. That's crazy, right? I mean, what can I do about it? With throwing a fit? Like, let me tell you, because of personal development, what I saw instead. Okay. So there's this particular group that we have, top coaches, where people miss the big bonus, and other people were sharing the size of the bonus because they wanted them to, because they were like, I need some motivation. I need to know how much I missed. That's how I even found out that I missed that much. Not usually a huge concern of mine. But so when I went to look in my back office, you know what I mean? Like, I had hit the $22,000 bonus. Okay? But so did some other people, and they were still focused on the 53. But for me, did you know I fell to the floor and thanked God? 7 years ago, Summer would not have done that. No, 7 years ago, Summer would have been like, what? And I probably would have went and looked and see, really, who do I need to focus on to make sure I don't miss that again? Do you see what I'm saying? That's a complete mind shift of 7 years, all because of personal development. Some of you guys like, I can't even fathom that. Trust me, you are going to hit emerald and lose it. You're going to hit diamond and lose it. You're going to almost hit diamond and lose it. You're going to hit 1-star qualifying on the last week and lose it. And if you can't maintain that emotional strength and stability that comes through personal development, it'll crush your ego and your confidence and your self-worth in a way that brings no peace at all. And that's really not my desire, to lead a team that has no peace. That makes sense? And so, okay, so I got off on a tangent. So you got the glue that holds it all together, that goes through all of this stuff, okay? So think of how glue, when you squirt it, it hits the paper and like Elmer's glue spreads out. That's like what social media is, right? So you got the personal development. You're like, well, how does it spread out? Well, think about how you can share your personal development on social media, and how people will start to notice people, wow, Summer's a little calmer these days. Do you know what I mean? Not super calm, but you know what I mean? I don't explode as I used to. Do you know what I mean? I'm like that person that I'll look calm. I used to be, I'll look like I'm calm, and then like a pearl does, you know what I mean? Do you know, my kids would be like, where did that come from? Do you know what I mean? But personal development helped me learn how to dispense that. Do you know what I mean? And calm myself and find joy in the stress and all that kind of stuff. Find peace and blessing is a state of mind, not something that's given to us, like all through personal development. And so that shows on social media. I mean, think about it. Any of you guys ever vented on social media? Like, I just need to vent, or sent someone a message, a rant, and said, sorry, I just need to vent. Anytime I get a message like that, my next, like, I'll talk to him about, what are you reading right now for personal development? I'm just curious. Because the more and more you work on yourself, the more and more it shows up in how you approach things with people, how you share on social media, whether you can emotionally handle maybe an election not going your way. You see what I'm saying? Do you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not, no one knows what I am because I just don't talk about it. It doesn't matter. Amanda Chesney, do you care what I believe in? Would it even, like, in terms of politics, would it, if I believed in the opposite person of you, do you think you'd be like, why? I don't like her then. So why do I need to tell you? I am Summer Tucker. I am not a elephant or a donkey. Neither. So I don't need to vent. Do you know what I mean? Because I am good with who I've become. And that was all through personal development. Because let me tell you, when I was younger, I was going to get the last word in. Like, everybody, like my dad, like, you need to be a lawyer. Like, seriously, you can back anyone into admitting that they're wrong. And I used to be like, yeah, damn right I can. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a good thing. Like, I can remember if you wronged me, I can remember what you were wearing, where we at, what day it was, and who was standing around. You know what I mean? That's what I have prayed and prayed for him to I don't want to remember that stuff. You know what I mean? The summer of 7 years ago, might take notes on it. Do you know what I mean? Just to make sure. You know what I mean? Like, and so I remember when I was changing, and so people start to notice you're changing. My dad's like, you know what? Where did your fire go? Like, don't you believe in anything anymore? What? Because I'm not so fiery? Like, I'm not going to get all, like, my panties in a wad over politics now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so people will challenge you, but there's so much peace in knowing what defines you. So, but again, personal development. So it's going to come out in social media. It's going to come out in your invites. Do you know what I mean? How do you guys feel on social media when you, like, whether it be politics, I hate to go there, but that's just what, like, I saw people flushing their business down the toilet, and I was like, ugh. But on both sides. So, you know what I mean? Like, how does that make you feel when someone says something, like, almost defines you by one or the other, saying there's something wrong with you, and then both sides did it? Does that make you go, you know what? You're right. There is something wrong with me. I wish I would have voted for the other person. I think I'll do business with him or her. Nah, said no one. You know what I mean? No one goes, yeah, you know what? It's like arguing with your husband. Like, no husband ever stops and goes, you know what? I am an ass. You're right. You know what I mean? Like, but we just want that. We want that. We just want to, like, get it. I've been there 7 years ago. That was summer of 7 years ago. So anyway, but that's social media. I don't believe you, because you can't lead large amounts of people. There are people from every walk of life. I mean, think about that. There are scars. There are people that have been hurt. There have been people that have been hurt, like, directly impacted by Republicans and Democrats. And that kind of, like, that controls their belief, right? They have been hurt. You can't make that, just by justifying it, you can't make that hurt go away. Same with, their spouse or whatever. So creating a safe place, like making sure you're that place, that soft place for people to fall. People ask themselves three things. Can I trust her? Does she love me? And can she help me, or he? Okay. So think about that. Do you feel like someone, and both did it on social media, and I'm not meaning, this is the most recent thing. When somebody hammered the opposite side of whatever you are, let's not go into what you are, and it's not even a definition of us, but you see what I'm saying? Whoever you voted for. Were any of you like, when someone hammered your chosen person, where you're like, man, she must really love me for putting that out there like that? Or did you feel judged? Do you see what I'm saying on either side? So just things to consider. Not that we shouldn't have our beliefs, but nobody, No one decides to drink Shakeology that's been drinking Herbalife because you hammer them. Same with politics, same with Herbalife. You know what I mean? Getting your kids to do something because of this limbic part of the brain is what I'm trying to say. People's decisions come from what they believe, and their emotions are attached to it. You know what I mean? And so you have to tap into that. And so social media is a glue because it bleeds around your personal development. It bleeds around your workouts, what you believe about yourself, like your self-worth and what you've been through. Trust me, I've walked this journey with what I put in my body. As I started to love myself more, I started to change how I ate. I had a self-hate issue, my personal experience, right? There was no one that could tell me Whole30, if you don't eat, I remember when people used to argue with me about organic and I would just sit silent. There was nothing, they could argue all the facts about the cancer. I don't have cancer. I have a self-hate issue. You see what I'm saying? So that, like, hammering organics, like, to me personally, that's not about the chemical. That's not going to do it. Same with essential oils, and that's what I was coaching someone on. You know what I mean? Until you tap into my belief system, and so your invites, your personal development, your desire to be patient with people and listen and hear what their needs are, instead of what I've heard sometimes is, I'm just tired of hearing about people's crap. Wait, what? Wait, hold on a second, because I have about, 4 of your crap in my phone right now. So you want me to listen to your crap, but you're tired of listening to your challengers crap or your coaches crap that aren't doing anything. Do you see, like that? But personal development starts to switch that mindset. Okay, so again, I'm still hammering the personal development. It bleeds into your invites. It bleeds into your workouts. It bleeds into all your vital behaviors. It bleeds into your ability to recognize other people, maybe when they've passed you up, right? Okay, and which on social media, you can recognize people. So I want you guys to understand how important social media is, because that's where everybody's face is. But the only thing that needs to happen on social media is you. There are people directly tied to you, your vision, your mission, your scars. You're not trying to get the Summers of 7 years ago. That's who I'm trying to connect with. I'm not trying to connect with people that have been suicidal. I've never been suicidal. That's not part of my story. If they end up in my life, I wrap my arms around them, but that's not part of my story. So there's just, like, why would I pretend? Like, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes people are like, well, I haven't had a lot of weight to lose. But that's not your story, right? But so I don't feel like I could really do this, or it can go both extremes. Listen to the excuses I've heard, and you've probably heard them too, or some of them might be going through your head. I haven't had a lot of weight to lose, so really, I don't have a big transformation to show. Y'all heard that one before? Or how about, I still have a lot of weight to lose, so really, I can't really, look at the two extremes, right? Sometimes I hear people's story of being bankrupt and coming back, and I'm like, well, I wasn't bankrupt. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? And some of you guys are like, well, Summer had $100,000 pay off, and I just wasn't that stupid with my finances, so I didn't. Awesome. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be, I've before heard people's stories about suicide and be like, well, I don't have anything that's a big topic. Christy Constner I was tearing up listening to her story in a group the other day about being suicidal. And I was like, wow, that is enormous. And I don't have anything near that big, but that's not my story. That's not my scars. So you have to embrace your scars, be willing to be vulnerable on social media, because that's how people connect. That's how people connect to the limbic part of your brain, which makes the decisions. So if you want to be successful in this business, you have to be you. Otherwise, it's like shaving your head and trying to be Kara. Like, think about that every time you post, when you're trying to think of, like, how to make this, like, okay, well, like, Summer posts like this and Summer uses a lot of emojis. Well, that's because, like, that's just like my weird personality. I've seen some of the really, like, serious emeraldy people start to use the emojis, and I just can't, like, I'm like, I don't know, I can't picture them saying it that way. Do you know what I mean? And I know them really well. Do you know what I mean? Like, that doesn't sound like their voice at all. And so it'd be like if Chad, like sometimes you ever read Chad's posts, they're super deep, and he even noticed, he's like, oh, getting too deep, I gotta go. Do you know what I mean? Because it's just, Chad is a very goofy person, and he has to embrace that, and so that's really what I want to drive home with you guys, okay, is the importance of being you on social media and listening to the National Wake Up Call. If you haven't listened to Chalene Johnson's, it is so incredibly valuable. It's crazy. And then your all in mindset, like really asking yourself, like, am I all in, or do I have 1 foot in and 1 foot out? Because the 1 foot in and the 1 foot out, if 93% of communication is nonverbal, then everybody knows that you have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Do you follow anyone? Like if you're, this just came to my mind. If you were being proposed to, and he was like, look, I really think you're cool most of the time, and I just kind of wanted to, let's give it 90 days. You know what I mean? Like I was thinking, like, I think we can give it a go. I'm willing to give you all of me for 90 days, most of the days. Sometimes, as long as I don't have to do it the way you do it. But will you marry me? How many of you would be like, no? Like no one, like no. Like, you know what? We'll probably end in divorce. I doubt this is going to work. My husband's didn't work, My grandparents ended in divorce. All the people I'm surrounded. But you know what? We could at least get a good 90 days. And if you take care of this ring, girl, we can pawn it and make money back. I mean, how many of you be like, no? Like that, what I mean? But some of us are doing that with our business to our upline. Like, mentor me. I'll give you a good 90 days most of the time if I feel like it. I mean, if I'm not having a bad day, and if I don't have any naysayers that day, I'll show up as long as nothing else pops up and it's not too uncomfortable. I'll give it a go for 90 days. And I mean, you know what I'm saying? If that's your mindset, right? And I get it. I get it if it is. But if it is, just know that people feel that. So when no one gets on your train, no one follows that. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where you have to dig in your heels and remember what this business, the opportunity, or the challenge group, what has it done for you? Like, have y'all ever wrote that down before? Have y'all ever wrote down, like, before, and I've taught this before, you fold a piece of paper. On one side, it's before challenge groups. On the other side, it's before coaching. And you write down what life was like before. When I first started writing, it had nothing to do with the scale on the left side and nothing to do with money on the right side. So you can't really use that as an excuse. You can't say, well, I don't have anything for coaching because, like, I just started. You know what I mean? No. What has it felt like to be unconditionally loved in a group? What does it feel like to have goals again? To have something inside of you, like kind of excited about, but scares the heck out of you at the same time? I mean, you got to feel alive, more alive than I had ever. When I made that commitment to go diamond for the first time, 16 months after I signed up, because I let everybody else have impact on my belief system. Everybody that was making fun of me, everything. But at 60 months, when I was like, what the heck do I have to lose? Why am I going to let other people that are leading a mediocre life drag me into their mediocre life? You know what I mean? That's what that decision, like, I made that decision. You know what I mean? Even when I closed my eyes back then and tried to picture my perfect day, I couldn't even picture it. I couldn't picture it. All I could see was debt, a struggling marriage, and a military lifestyle, which is fine. You know what I mean? But I never saw Chad, so it's really not fine to me. I always feel like I have to tiptoe around that one because I don't want to put any military families down. But me personally, it was not fine for me to never see Chad. I mean, you guys don't understand, like, never. Like, he worked 6 days a week, left before the kids woke up, got home after they were in bed, and was gone at a drop of a hat. Gone on a mission, all the time. So it wasn't okay with me. And I decided, like, you know what? Why? Okay, what do I have to lose? Like, why wouldn't I just go all in? I was excited and nervous at the same time, like scared, crapless, but felt alive for the first time since we had gone into the mill. I actually felt alive, and I wrote that down. I was like, I feel alive. And what I started noticing when I took the kids to school and stuff like that, I noticed a bunch of moms walking around like zombies. I was like, wow. Maybe she needs some excitement. Maybe she needs goals. Maybe she needs to dream again. What if I could connect with them? And I started seeing, and that's how I first started sharing the opportunity. I hadn't made any money, hardly at all, except for as a personal trainer. Try selling that to people that aren't a personal trainer. Like I had sold product to my clients, like not Shakeology wasn't around, so P90X and Turbo Fire is pretty, and Insanity. Those are the three, right? To people that I had already been training, right? So I hadn't really made any money. And that was how I first started sharing it, because that's how I felt. I tapped into their limbic part of the brain to help them make a decision to not lead a mediocre life either. And I don't mean mediocre has anything to do with money. Mediocre has to do with settling. It is what it is. Not having the courage to make change. Just listening to all the naysayers. That's where I was, in a mediocre life. Just, this is how it's going to be. This is just it. This is what I was after. This is what I get. You know what I mean? And that's how I started first talking about the business. And I still do to this day. If I never made a dime with this, you guys, I would still be enthusiastic about this business, because it's what it's done for me, right? And so you have to ask, that's where your enthusiasm comes from. You have to ask yourself, like, what has this business done for you? From challenge group perspective and a business perspective, share that. That's your heart. See, what it's done for Mary is going to be completely what it's done for me. And so when she shares it, she can use my story. I can use Kristen's story. I can tell, and I do, and I tell Mary's when people are telling me their need, but my heart for what it's done for me still shines. That is my brand. You know what I mean? And that's all you have to do, is be honest about what it's done for you. You have to be willing to be vulnerable. And that's usually what trips people up. Does anybody know why vulnerability trips people up? And I'm going to open up for questions. You have to get used to digging to the root of what's holding you back, okay? Usually, it comes from the root of fear, to be honest. And that one is particular is fear of judgment. Any of you guys fearful of judgment, what people are going to say, family? Maybe if I could just start a like page and my family won't know I'm doing it. You know what I mean? Like my friends, I don't know I'm doing it. That's a fear of judgment. You have to dig back and figure out, when did that start? Why are you so fearful, right? You dig back, break agreement with it, and then start to move forward to build belief in the new belief system that you want. So let's start there. What belief system do you want that you maybe don't believe yet? Do some of you struggle with being worthy of a team of 2,000 people? How many of you guys are like, I can't do that, right? Life and death is in the power of the tongue. Whatever you believe is what you conceive. Remember, I told you, what you believe is going to control your decision-making, and people are going to feel it. So if you don't believe that you could lead a team or are worthy of leading a team of 2,000, you never will. You never will. And some of you guys are like, well, then I'm screwed. No, you're not. All you have to do is change that belief system, and I'm going to tell you how to do it. This is going to be the one tip I'm going to give you. I gave it on Facebook the other day. I'm going to give it to you again. I'm going to check in with you guys. I'm going to ask you to be consistent with it. You have to take whatever if it's I'm not worthy, you have to change it to I am worthy of coaching a team of 2,000. That's simple. Over your life every single day. Every single day. I have done it for 7 years with shirts and signs and quotes. Like, Chalene Johnson taught it to me. Chalene Johnson, I used to have screensavers, and she taught us to have a push number, and my push number was 6. For me, the 6 represented 6,000 coaches. Why am I losing the word? 6-star diamond, 6 figures. Okay? And every day I would speak that over my life. I am worthy of running a 6-figure business. I am every day. Every time I opened my phone, it popped up. The 6. And the 6 reminded me of what I was fighting for, what I was worthy of. And I would say it out loud. You know what's funny is Brittany Leggett and I spoke together at Summit, and she taught the same thing. She taught the same thing, not the 5, but these words of affirmation. Some call it whatever, mantras. We can call it whatever. Some people roll their eyes at that stuff. Doesn't matter. Just pick whatever. Just pick something that you need to overcome and do it consistently. If you don't, listen to me, trust me, if you don't, I have coaches on my team that they can rock a challenge like me, and they can invite all day to the challenges, because they've lost, 50, 60, 70 pounds or 25 pounds and kept it off for 5 years. All day they can invite to the challenge groups. You know why? They believe that they are worthy because they have the results. Guess what building your team is? It's where faith comes in. It's where belief, your ability to really, really speak life over yourself, this is where it comes in. Because guess what? You don't build a team like that until you overcome that fear. So like I tell my coaches, like, when would you believe that you could lead a team? Because that's what they say. Like, I just don't believe I could do it like you do it. I'm like, what do you think I do it like? What do you think I do it like? What, you don't believe you can do 18 hours a week? Any of you guys used to working 18 hours a week in your current job? Right? No, Jenna, it's all changed, didn't it? You thought I was working 80 hours a week. No, but I do know how to delegate. And that's what I teach my coaches that get to that level. I teach them how to delegate. I always told you guys I got your back, right? But many of you guys believe I work a lot. Nope. I just have 4 assistants. I'm hot. Do you guys see what I'm saying? Okay. So what you believe has caused, I work 18 hours. Today, this week, I was short. That's why I'm on here with you guys. I was like, shoot, I'm only at 15. You know what I mean? Like, I better get on a webinar and do something with my time. I earn my paycheck. You know what I mean? So it's what you believe is what holds you back. Some of you guys have only been with me very recently. So you're like, man, she must have like studied like public speaking or something. Nope. Almost failed it in high school. Told I should never get in front of people and speak. Right. That's crazy. Some of you guys think I've always worn a size 4. Nope. Wore a 10 in high school. Even though I was very athletic. I had to get taped in the military. I had to get checked because whatever where you weigh in, it was the worst thing I could do. I hated being weighed in. So what you believe, right? You're comparing yourself to me. You're comparing your, year 1 to my year 7. That's like me looking at all you and being like, what the hell? Why can't you throw a football like Griffin? You suck. You should never play football. That sounds ridiculous, right? Do you see like the comparison right there? Right? It's like telling Ollie, you know what? I just don't think you got it. Or going to gymnastics, Riley's getting better, right? And looking at these girls that are 4 years ahead of her, practicing 4 hours a day and going, Riley, you know what? Why don't we just take that Olympic goal? I mean, maybe a D3 college. Maybe. We would never do that to our kids. Why are you doing that to yourself? Why are you doing that to yourself? So it all starts with my kids have to do mantras, whatever. Riley has the Olympic thing all over the place. It's all about belief, right? Where you know what I'm saying? Griffin has the same thing. He wants to play for Ohio State. So guess what? He has Ohio State football players all around. He has the emblem. We play the Ohio State fight song that he would run out to. We're going to go visit the stadium. It's all about what you focus on. All of it, right? All of it. And so I truly believe that if Griffin wants it bad enough, he will run out on that football field. I don't care how big or how small he is. I don't care. I truly believe it comes down to work ethic and focus. And so before I give you guys like 10 minutes, someone to raise their hand and ask questions, I'm going to ask you guys to come up with a mantra or a quote, something that is holding you back that you're going to change. You know what I mean? That you think you need to change, whether it be leading a team. Usually that's what it is. It's usually the reason people don't show up or, don't come to things is because they have already decided their belief system is it's great for Summer. And she's a little crazy and a little over energetic but it's really great for her. And I like listening to her talk, but it's not really for me. You know, like I can never see myself doing that. I can never see myself leading a webinar. Well, me either. I started out a webinar where I didn't even know how to run it, and it was my mother-in-law that showed up. That's it. My mother-in-law, out of the kindness of her heart, was like, well, I don't want no one to show up. You know what I mean? And then Rebecca Bain showed up, and now we can max out at 200 7 years later. You know what I mean? And so that's your guys' homework. And I want you guys, I told you guys I wanted people on here that were going to be coachable, that were going to take and put into action. I love that you guys showed up. The next piece of your kind of test is, what is your takeaway? What is your quote? What are you going to put on the screensaver of your phone? What are you going to speak over your life every single day for the next 7 years? And you're like, I didn't commit to 7 years. Well, then you already have 1 foot out. 1 foot's out. You know what I mean? Christy Constner, I'm going to keep saying her name wrong, but she talked about that yesterday. You know, she spent 4 years getting her degree in engineering, 4 years, spent over 6 figures to get it, came out, got a job at first $30,000 a year. Do you know what I mean? And so when she decided to do that, she was like, well, this is what she said she was going to do. I'm going to give it 4 years. That's pretty good. And I'm going to give it the same effort I gave my engineering degree. Any of you guys ever ran an Ironman or got a degree in something or did something that took a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of focus? What if you gave this business that same energy? I know people that go to nursing, which is awesome, right? They go to nursing school, all that energy, they work clinicals, they go to school, they raise their family, right? All this effort, which is awesome, but I can't get them to put the same effort into the business that would pay them to the tune of $40,000 to $65,000 a month. Any of you guys think of a few things you could even do with a quarter of that? Life-changing. I don't know what causes you guys stand for: suicide, depression, MS, cancer. Even if you don't need all that money, hey, give it away. that's what our accountant was like. Hey, so I hate to tell you this, but you're kind of going to get red flagged on your taxes. I'm like, wait, what did I do wrong? He's like, you donate too much money. I was like, really? He was like, yeah, more than people that make 3 to 4 times than you. And I was like, better tighten up our stuff then if we're going to get audited for all. But you know what I'm saying? But you could do that. You don't have to do anything crazy with it. But if you gave it, here's what I do know. If you give it the same effort you've given something else, I told Chad that. When Chad had to do so much to become a pilot in the Marine Corps. And I remember watching his work ethic and seeing, if I match that work ethic, if I match that commitment, that determination in this business, there's no telling where we could fly, quote unquote. That was pretty clever, right? That was good. So I want you guys to make a flyer, something that you stick on your phone or whatever, of something you're going to speak over your life for the next 4 years. You're like, I didn't know I was coming for this. And I want you to post it in Team Courage. And then I want you to tag either someone on your team, someone that inspires you, someone that you want to instill that belief in. I want you to pay it forward. Deal? I'm going to count how many people are on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I should see 17 of these. Hold on. Everybody stay here for just a second. Now I have all your names of who was on here. You thought we were taking a picture for Facebook. Nope. For accountability, because I love you that much. Explain the assignment. Okay, so I want you guys to figure out what belief system is holding you back, whether you're new or you've been here for a while, whether it has to do with leading or, some people don't think they deserve they are so used to struggling financially that they don't feel it's almost like they don't feel like they deserve financial success. Any of you feel that way or ever met anybody like that? Almost like that scares you, because you know what I mean? Like I don't deserve that. I've been so bad in the past. I did drugs or I did this. I don't deserve it. Guess what? It's not works-based like that. Undeserving anything. You know what I mean? Do you guys ever know anybody that has followed all the rules, so to speak, and still got crapped on? I do. So it's obviously not works-based like that, right? So don't judge. It's not based on what you've done or what you haven't done in the past. It doesn't matter if you used to do drugs or you've been suicidal. It doesn't matter if you've been divorced 3 times. It doesn't matter. It's not like that. It's not how it works. It's not works-based. It's not like what you can do in your future is not defined by what you've done in your past like that. Okay. And so, but you have to re-speak that over your life. I'll post my statements in here. I'll not in here, but you know what I'm talking about. I'll post, how about that? So you guys can see what some of my mission statements are that I read every single morning over myself, every single morning over myself. And that can give you guys an idea, but it can be as simple as I'm worthy of great success. I'm worthy of leading a team of, start with 100 if you have 2. You know what I mean? Or none. You know what I mean? I'm worthy of leading a team of 100. I say it to myself all the time. I am worthy of, imagine the enormity of leading 15,000 people. I mean, think about how that can get in your head. Like every day, I am worthy of this, Lord. Thank you for trusting me to lead these people, and I will do my very best. Every day I say, I will do my very best. I'm not going to be perfect. I'm definitely going to screw up, but I am worthy of it, and if you think I'm worthy of it, if you keep placing them here, I'm going to show up. I'm going to be consistent because I know I am worthy of it. Every day. I have to tell myself that every single day I look in my back office and see that many people that I've been entrusted with. That makes sense? Okay. All right, now we never got to questions. You guys should have known that was coming though, right? Like I always say, like, we're gonna do a Q&A, and then like I just get like wham, like go. But here's what we'll do is I will come with another time where I will keep my mouth shut and let you guys ask whatever questions you want. Is that a good deal? Because I totally just took an hour, talked. Hopefully you got something from it. You know, I talked based on what I've been seeing. You know, hopefully you got something from it. And then, but next week, is this generally for you guys that are on here a decent time for you? Like right around the 12 lunchtime. On the West Coast is nap time if you have little kids. So I will try to, is that okay? Like Jordan, does that work for you up there? Okay. So I will put one where you guys remind me. Jenna, you show up and you just tell me to keep my trap shut. Can you Kristen, you do that for me? You know, maybe Mary can just like tape my mouth shut and I will just listen to all of your guys' questions and I will deal. All right, so tonight I will check back in before I go to bed for 7. At that time when I took the picture, there were 17 people that I'm supposed to see what you're going to speak over your life. And what I want you to do is when you see me at Summit, I want you to show it to me. Like, hey, it's on my phone. This is what I've been speaking over my life, and this is what has changed between it. Look, right now I have this. Fearless. I had to remind myself as I was moving from Texas with no goods, and we have 4 house payments. You know what I mean? Like I had to be fearless. You know what I mean? I had to fear less, trust more. Fear less, trust more. Right, Mary? We had to fear less. I had to every day open this and remind myself that fear has no place in my life. I still use this. So that's what I want you guys to do. When I see you at Summit, I want to see what's on your phone. I want you to tell me what it's done for you. Deal? Deal. Okay, I'm gonna let y'all go. We're about to transition into it's called Redefined. You can stay, of course. It's more of a faith-based. We weave in business around different sermons, but you're more than welcome to stay. But thank you for your hour of time. And look, I'll be looking for 17 quotes or mantras. Deal? All right, I'll talk to y'all later. Redefined. I'll be right back. I gotta plug in my computer. What's up, you guys? How's it going? Mary, look at you. You're going to listen to me talk for 2 hours? Girl. Well, you won't have to listen to me the whole time. Hold on. How's it going? The call before was something that well, let me stop recording. Hold on.